If your plants look healthy in the morning but collapse by the afternoon, the problem is not your watering schedule, and it is definitely not your fertilizer. In fact, the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium you trust most may be making your plants structurally weaker. You are building lush, fast tissue, but you're missing the cellular armor that keeps it standing. Research shows that high nitrogen feeding can drop a plant's internal silicon concentration by up to 40%. The more you feed without silicon, the softer the growth becomes. Today, we are revealing the science of silicon and why your garden is very likely structurally starving for it right now. Most gardeners are taught three numbers: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium for decades. That has been the complete picture. But here is the part the industry leaves out. Nitrogen drives expansion, but it does not drive strength. High nitrogen tissue has thin, elongated cell walls. It is essentially a water-filled structure, swollen, soft, and easy to pierce. Aphids and thrips do not attack your plants by accident. They target the softest tissue first. High nitrogen feeding is basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for pests. Now, let us talk about why your soil is lying to you. Your plants cannot absorb silicon from sand. They cannot pull it from clay. The only form a plant can actually absorb is monosilicic acid, written as H4SiO4. And here is the crisis most container gardeners never hear about. Standard potting mixes like peat, coco coir, and perlite release less than 0.03 millimoles of silicon per day. Mineral garden soil provides 10 to 20 times more. If you are growing in containers, your plants have been structurally starving from the moment you filled that pot. Not because you did anything wrong, but because potting mix is silicon deficient by design. So why is it not in your fertilizer bag? Because silicon is not a nutrient. It does not push fast growth or yield numbers, so it does not fit a simple marketing label. But what it does at the cellular level is something no amount of NPK can replicate. Stay with me, because next I'm going to show you how your plant literally grows its own glass armor to fight back. Here's what silicon actually does inside your plant. It does not stay liquid. It solidifies into microscopic glass-like structures called phytoliths, built directly into the cell walls. This process takes 8 to 10 days to complete, but once it is there, it is a permanent structural upgrade for the life of that tissue. Think of it as internal sandpaper. When a chewing insect attacks a silicon-treated leaf, those microscopic crystals physically wear down the insect's mandibles. Their mouth parts. The plant is not using a chemical pesticide, it is using mechanical defense in zinnia trials. Silicon reduced aphid populations by 23% purely through this physical barrier. Then there is the heat defense. Silicon forms a reinforced cuticular layer just beneath the leaf surface under extreme thermal stress, like a 95-degree afternoon in Zone 9. This reduces water loss by up to 35% without closing the stomata. It keeps the plant breathing while staying hydrated. In strawberry trials above 82 degrees, silicon-treated plants showed 47% more fruit set than untreated controls. That is the difference between a successful harvest and a total crop failure. 2 quick myths before we fix your garden. Myth 1, sandy soil is enough. False, sand is silicon dioxide. Plants cannot absorb rock, only monosilicic acid is bioavailable. Myth 2, silicon is a growth booster. Also false, silicon does not push growth. It hardens it. Nitrogen builds the house. Silicon is the rebar in the concrete. So how do you actually apply it without wasting your money? Next, I will show you the specific form, the exact dose, and the one mixing mistake that can lock out your entire nutrient program in seconds. There are 2 primary forms of silicon available to gardeners. First, potassium silicate, budget-friendly and widely available. Look for a minimum 3.5% concentration. Second, stabilized monosilicic acid, the premium choice, immediately bioavailable with faster uptake from the very first application. Now, here is the one mistake that destroys entire feeding programs. Potassium silicate is highly alkaline with a pH between 11.3 and 11.7. If you add it directly into a nutrient mix, it reacts with calcium and magnesium, causing them to clump and become completely unavailable to your plant. To avoid this, follow the 3-step rule. Step 1, fill your reservoir with plain water first. Step 2, add the silicon and mix thoroughly. Step 3. Only then add your remaining nutrients and adjust the final pH. This ensures everything stays bioavailable. For dosage, aim for 100 to 200 parts per million for root drenches or 50 to 100 milligrams per liter for a foliar spray. Apply every 7 to 14 days through the peak heat season. And remember, start 8 to 10 days before a heat wave hits. Silicon needs time to build that internal defense. If you grow in containers, this is not optional. Your potting mix is silicon deficient by design, and supplementation is the only way to close that structural gap. I have linked the specific potassium silicate, pH meter, and sprayer I use in the description below. You have been feeding your plants, and that is a great start, but feeding without fortifying is only half the job. Silicon is the structural layer that makes everything else hold up through heat, wind, and pest pressure. Now you know what was missing. Drop a comment below. Are you growing in containers or in the ground? I want to know your starting point. And if you want to take your plant defense to the next level, my next video covers chitosan, a compound that adds a chemical immune layer on top of the physical armor we built today. Subscribe so you do not miss it.